Joining us now is Julie McAdory. Now, she is with the Money Management International. She is here out of Hattiesburg, and we thank you for your time today. We want to talk just a moment about credit counseling, and let's start with a question. What are some key statistics that show the trouble that exists in this area?
Right. We have found that about 80% of adults would figure that they're probably anywhere between a C, D, and an F when it comes to personal finance. We also find that about 47% of the adults have learned how to use money and how to use credit wisely and all those other personal finance issues from their parents, which is a good thing. We've also have about 40% to 70% of the adult population that would really like to have some more learning about financial literacy from a professional.
I'm sure the state of our economy as we tape this has certainly brought it to more people's attention than perhaps it has been in recent years.
Very true.
How long has Money Management International been in existence?
Money Management International has been in existence since 1997, and what they are comprised of mostly consumer credit counseling agencies. And the consumer credit counseling agencies were actually established back in about 1958, and they were it was the National Foundation for Credit Counseling, and they were actually lenders that got together and said, people are not paying us, what can we do?
Right.
Of course, they don't have the manpower or the time to be able to work out arrangements with individuals in repaying their debt. And that is when the National Foundation was established, and that is when consumer credit counseling started.
All right, well, let's focus a moment on some different areas here. The service of credit counseling, what does that exactly consist of?
Credit counseling, what we do is we can have counseling with people by telephone, face-to-face in one of our offices, also by the internet. We have counselors on call ready to help people 24/7, so they're available to reach them anytime. What happens is a credit counselor creates a good budget for the individual, sees how the income that the individual has coming in, give wonderful ideas, suggestions to them on how they can control their debt, control their spending, and live by a budget. So it's very, very good advice that people can receive.
So they actually take the person's income, the expenses, and they give them a plan to go by.
That's correct. And what we call a money action plan. And that really gives them the steps to take. This is how you do it. This is how you get out of your situation.
All right. Now, the debt, you mentioned debt management plan. What is that? How does that differ from what you just talked about?
The credit counseling is a free service, and then if a person has the income to be able to go on what we call our debt management program, that is when we set up that program, MMI would negotiate with the creditors on a fair amount that the individual's payment would be. And then if they go on our program, they pay us, and then MMI pays the creditors on a month-to-month basis. Most of our programs are somewhere between 3 and 5 years. It's all, of course, according to how much debt a person has. But it's a way of helping people help themselves to get out of debt, to work with their creditors, and learn how to budget, track their expenses so that they know where they can cut back. And that's a key issue right there.
I know a lot of people are surprised when they really look closely at these things. Now, another area is housing counseling. Explain that for us.
Okay, we are certified HUD housing counselors, and we offer loss mitigation counseling. That is for people that are facing foreclosure. And I just want to throw out another little statistic here, and that is, would you believe that 60% of people that have been facing foreclosure never even picked up the phone to speak to the lender about some different programs that they could help themselves. And that's where a credit counselor comes in handy, because people are sometimes afraid to pick up the phone and call their lender, so that we can work with that and with them to get on some kind of a plan with their lender to avoid that foreclosure. We also are reverse mortgage counselors, and that is for a person that is 62 years old or older, can get a reverse mortgage, and that is for a person that is what we call house rich and cash poor. You probably have seen them advertised on TV especially. But what our counseling does is we give them the good, the bad, the ugly, the benefits, other options that they may have when they're deciding if they want to have a reverse mortgage or not. We also have what we call first-time home buyer seminars for people, so that when they go into their home, they'll know what to do and what not to do. We also offer post-purchase counseling and workshops, and that is telling them, when you get in your home, the first thing you don't do is go out and run out and get all new drapes and all new this and that and the other, is to take their time and make plans and set goals for themselves of what they would like to eventually have for their home. We also talk to them about the energy saving that they can have, and lots of other different things to know their neighborhood and to become a good neighbor, and also about the workings of their homes, furnaces, and you name it, and give them a real good learning experience about what do you do when you get in your home. You want to keep your home, and this is how you do it.
All right, well, thank you very much. Julie McAdory from Money Management International.